Okay, this is part 2 about how to have energy. Now, part 1 discussed kicking out all the negative, the things that stifle energy. But now, about accomplishing things. People ask me all the time, or they say, wow, you have so much energy. I've never known anybody to have so much energy as you. My own daughter even said the other day, said, wow, you accomplish so much more in a day than I do. Well, you have to believe that you can do it. A lot of the things that we don't try, or we don't finish, or we don't bother with, are because we don't believe we can. Now, I should say something about time wasters. You accomplish a lot more in the day if you don't have a bunch of time wasters. And you know what those time wasters are. Those things that you do in your life that use up a lot of time and you never have anything from it. You know, I just saw a billboard that said, have a cottage, get satellite TV. And I thought, why do you need satellite TV at a cottage? Anyway, don't go there. But I know that when I get sucked into TV, usually if I'm bummed out, I'll start watching something, Netflix or something. And then I get sucked into it, and I have to watch every episode until they're done. I'm just so sucked into it. But those are time wasters. Okay, now about time. You can't work all the time. If you try and get out in the garden and work until the end of the day to see, to accomplish a lot, you aren't going to accomplish a lot. I mean, you might, but maybe some people do. But there's the law of the frequent rest. The heartbeat. It pumps, it rests. It pumps, it rests. It pumps, it rests. If you hold your arm up or out, you can only hold it there for so long. But if you stop and then do it, stop and then do it, stop, you could probably do it all day. The frequent rest is a real important thing. And so with me, the way I accomplish a lot, I go outside and I do something, and then I sit down. Then I get up and do something, and I sit down. Or I'll change positions. I'll rest one part of myself by using another part. For instance, if I'm shoveling, I can only shovel a little bit, but then I can walk with the wheelbarrow. And I can sit down, or when I get the wheelbarrow to where it is, I can dump it and walk back. So, if I were to try and shovel, I'd break my back, that'd be the end of it. But I can shovel, walk. Shovel, walk. Shovel, walk. I could probably do that for a very long time. And what are some things in your life that you do that are repetitive motion? If you're going to do laundry, if you're going to sit and fold the laundry for hours and hours and hours, you're going to get bored and turn on the television, right? But you could stand and do some dishes. You don't want to do all the dishes if you have a lot, because then you're out of energy when you're done. You're wiped. So you could just spend 5 or 10 minutes doing dishes. And then you spend a few minutes switching the laundry. And then you spend a few minutes hanging it up. And a few minutes folding it or putting it away. And so you can accomplish a lot by doing small bites. Now, I made 110 bowls, pottery bowls, at Christmas time. And I made 12 tea towels. I wove 12 tea towels. And how did I do that? Well, I didn't sit at the loom for 48 hours and weave tea towels. No. And I didn't sit at the pottery wheel for 100 hours, or, I guess 110 bowls. A bowl takes about 10 minutes to make. Unless you start getting detailed with it, and then you wreck it, and then it's no good anyway. that, so 100 times 5, so 500 minutes to make 110 bowls, or 100 bowls should take 500 minutes. But you don't have all the clay right there, and you're not making one bowl after another. You have to reclaim some clay, put it on the thing, wedge it, sit down and make a few bowls, get up, let them dry, do something else. Because your arms will get tired holding on for so long. Your back will get tired with the pressure. If you're trying to wedge clay, you don't want to wedge clay for hours. It's too tiring. So you do everything in small amounts. And then, at the end of the day, in your time, you would have accomplished a lot. You would have shoveled and taken it somewhere. You would have done some dishes. Maybe you did all the dishes because you broke it up. Did the dishes, you may have swept the floor, you may have done the laundry, you may have made some bowls, you may have reclaimed some clay. And then there's so many other things. You may have taken the router and made a few signs. You make one sign, and then you go nail it on a post and stick it in the router, and that's one sign. And so you can switch subjects all day and accomplish a lot of things. But if you try and stay on one subject and do just one item, it's too big. And over the course of, the oceans are made of drops of water. And just the way water wears away rock, it doesn't wear it all away at the same day. It's little by little. It picks up one grain of sand and takes it away. Picks up another grain and takes it away. But use this principle in your life of the frequent rest. Have a chair, a lawn chair, or something that you take with you. And you do things, but then you stop and rest, like driving. Driving to Georgia and back. I can drive a long way if I stop every hour or 2 or 3 and put out my chair and play my violin. I'm getting better at the violin, and I'm accomplishing it, and I'm enjoying the scenery. So that energizes me, being outside in the scenery, enjoying those beautiful trees. Isn't that a beautiful elm that just went by? So remember these things now. The frequent rest and avoiding time wasters. Doing things in little bits. I often talk about breaking up a job. One part of the job, which I will do today, is go find the hammer and put it in the location I want. The goal is I'm going to build a bookcase. So at one time I take the hammer and maybe find the nails, get all the tools, put them in one place. That's enough for that day. And maybe then measuring it all out. That's enough for another day. And you can accomplish so much if you take it in small pieces. But if you say to yourself, I'm going to build a bookcase this afternoon, and you think, wow, it's too much, I can't do it in an afternoon, then you don't want to start. If your house being tidy is more important than accomplishing what you want to do, you'll never do it. My mother said, in the words of my wonderful mother, nothing great was ever accomplished without making a mess. So do you want to accomplish something great? You have to make a mess. Afterwards, you can clean up the mess. But cleaning up the mess should not be part of the same job. That's another thing. I mean, you can, if you have the energy when you're done, clean it up at the same time. But if you're just going to make another mess tomorrow with the same job, you have to let your priorities be the job. The mess has to take a second bench. One of our oldest grandchild, she's in her 20s now. So my husband's husband's oldest daughter's daughter. She loved pottery, and she loves stained glass. But because it would make a mess in her house, her mother didn't want her to do that. Which reminds me, we're supposed to go there after church today. So now this daughter is grown and also feels it's very important not to make a mess or to clean up your mess. And will she ever do pottery or stained glass? Perhaps if she goes somewhere else to a studio, she might. But you know, with me, it's so important for me to not have to clean up the mess when I'm finished with the job that I quit using one studio, because you had to clean up everything to sparkling clean. So if I do it at home, I can leave my mess. I mean, clay will dry. It'll dry and you just put it back in the reuse thing. You don't have to clean every bit of it. I see a lot of these black tanks, these tanker cars. I see a lot of them going everywhere now. I guess this is the silly fracking out in the West. People can light their water on fire. Unbelievable. From their tap, they can strike a match and the water will be on fire. Which isn't possible, but it works. It happens. Anyway, so this is all about energy. So try it. Try doing things in small bites. Break a big, huge job down into 100 parts and do one part. And don't let the mess be the reason that you don't get it done. Okay, that was part 2. Don't know if there'll be a part 3 or not. I could talk about this forever because I just love having energy. I accomplish so much. I try things because I have faith. I have faith that it's possible to do it. If somebody can do it, then I can do it. It can be done if I have the right materials. Don't limit yourself on the materials at hand. Have faith that you'll find more materials. And you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish. Alrighty then, well, you heard it here last, and I am now officially 7 minutes late for church. You're probably still singing the sacrament hymn. So I might not be late yet. Well, I am late, but okay. Let's go.